Hello guys, welcome back to our channel with Dr. Tyra Bath Towel. Today we're going to talk about what you should never touch in a hospital. And this is very important because this is one of the things that will save your life. Number one, do not touch the bedside rail. Now, this is why, especially if the patient is on precaution, like has some diseases that can be transferable through touch, like ESBL, C. diff. Also, the reason you don't want to touch the side rail is because sometimes patients that are confused might have poop in their hand or soiled hand and they like to touch the side rail. So if you go stand by it and touch it, then you're going to wipe it off with your clothes. And you don't want that at all. Patients use the urinal. Sometimes they spill the urine on the urinal. So if there's urine on the urinal and you touch the urinal, you're gonna, and the urinal touches the side rail, you're picking up the urine in your clothes. So you do not touch the bedside rail. Number two, bedside table. You don't want to touch the bedside table because typically patients put their used Kleenex on the bedside table. So you don't want that. Or if a patient is confused and they have poop in their hand, they're going to touch the side table sometimes while trying to get up. So you got to be careful of touching that. Number three, rolling walker. You do not want to touch the rolling walker because patients use it to walk everywhere. And sometimes when they go to the bathroom, they don't always do a proper care of themselves. Or if they're confused, they have that poop in their hand. Sometimes they have a colostomy bag and they mess with it, especially if the patient who is independent and do their own thing, they might touch a colostomy bag, but they may not wipe their hand when they want to walk around. They may use a walker to walk around. Now you're going there and you want to move the walker with your hands and you got poop in your hand. So do not touch the walker in the room. Number four, the heart monitor. This is sometimes called the telemonitor. It's a small portable device that monitors the patient's heart. Usually some patients will keep it in the pocket in the gown or they leave it by the bedside. Then when they get up to walk around, sometimes it falls off. If the patient already was doing something or messing with a colostomy bag or had a BM or moved the bowels, and they might touch the monitor without washing their hands. That might happen. Or they might go to the bathroom, the monitor might fall on the floor, and then they pick it up, put it back in their pocket without washing it. Remember, the patients are fragile, so they don't always make the best decisions or the best choices. So you have to know not to touch that. If you want to touch it, use your gloves. Number five, wheelchair handle. Now this one is mostly about the employees because sometimes they will wheel the patient to the bathroom, clean up the patient with the same gloves, and without changing the gloves, they use the same glove to move the wheelchair backwards or to move the wheelchair closer to the patient so the patient can get up and get in. Happens sometimes, so just pay attention and know not all staff usually change their gloves when they are done cleaning the patient. It should be something, but it doesn't always happen. So just know that. So don't touch the wheelchair handle, with your bare hands. The way to know it, if you see a wheelchair handle, just grab a piece of wet cloth, like a piece of paper, wet it up, and just try to squeeze the handle back and forth, rub it friction. Look at the handle. You're going to see a lot of dirt in it. That dirt right there is potentially poop. So that's it. The next one is the IV pole. Do not touch the IV pole because sometimes patient gets up to go to the bathroom. They can walk without a walker. They just grab the IV pole. So again, if their hands are dirty from poop or they mess with a colostomy bag, they're touching the IV pole. And if you walk into the room, you touch the IV pole because you want to move it around or you want to do something with the IV pole, you might have poop in your hand. So always understand, don't touch the IV pole. Another thing you don't want to touch is the curtain that divides the room. This one it could be patient or staff. Sometimes patients are confused. And if their bed is closer to the curtain, they may try to pull the curtain up open, especially if they hear their roommate talking and they're confused, they're wondering who is talking in the room. They will try to pull the curtain open. Their hands might have feces on it, and you don't want to go and touch that. Or sometimes the patient uses the urinal. When they're done, they hang it by the bedside rail. If the bedside rail is close to the curtain might absorb some of the urine on the urinal. And then you walk past it and you touch it on you. Another thing is staff might change a patient who just had a bowel movement in the bedpan. Sometimes the bedpan might be soiled. And before it's disposed of or washed off, that bedpan might touch the bedside curtain. So don't touch the bedside curtain because that's going to be dirty as well, and you don't want to rub off your body on it. So I hope we're making some point here. Another thing you don't want to touch is the top of the soiled linen cart. The soiled linen cart is where you put all the dirty linens. Sometimes the linens have feces in them, stools and all that stuff. So you don't want to touch it because sometimes staff place those dirty linens on top of the cart before they put them inside the linen. Doesn't make sense, but some people do it. So just pay attention. Or sometimes people just put it there for convenience. Maybe they're in a rush. They want to put a linen somewhere to just set it on top of their linen cart. So don't do that. Especially, do not place food trays on them. I see people place food trays on them all the time. Don't do that. That's not great. Do not want to touch the headbed frame. Sometimes the patients want to pull themselves up in bed, or they want to assist staff to pull themselves up in bed. They hold on to the headbed frame and pull up while they've been adjusted by the staff. Don't do that because if their hand is soiled, you grab onto the dirty frame. So do not touch that. Another dirty spot you don't want to touch, the TV remote. Very important. That's probably the dirtiest because everybody touches the TV remote. So if the patient has a soiled hand and you go touch the remote, you get dirt in your hand. That's an easy one. Another one you don't want to touch at all is the bed control. Bed control, TV remote. Sometimes it's into one. So just be careful in that. It could be the same thing or it could be separate things. So just don't touch that. Plus, a bonus, you do not want to touch the bathroom door because, like you see, if patient has diarrhea and they keep going in and out of the bathroom, there's a possibility they don't clean their hands well. So hopefully this has helped you to understand what not to touch in a hospital or any healthcare setting. Or be careful, if you touch them, you wash your hands properly. So when you go visit your loved ones in a hospital or any healthcare facility, you have to know everything you're touching might be contaminated. So do not forget to wash your hands properly or use a hand sanitizer properly before you go home. Hope this helped you guys. Please share, like, and comment, and come back next week for more information. Thank you.